What's going on, everybody? It's Ted again here with CountdownCityGeeks.com, and I got another special interview for you guys. I'm here with director of the brand new action thriller Clear Cut, the one and only Brian Skiba. What's going on, sir?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
This is such an interesting film, and I'm going to get to this tremendous cast that you put together here in a minute. But tell us about how you got involved with the project Clear Cut.
I was initially approached by one of the producers who was looking for a thriller action movie, but and so he kind of left the door open for me. He's like, find something, bring it to me. So I went on the search, went on the hunt for a good script, and I went back to one of the guys I've worked with before, Eric Bromberg, who I did the second with Ryan Phillippe, and Eric had this in his war chest, and so he sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, man, this thing's tight. So I sent it to the producers, and they agreed, and there you go. So.
There's so many twists and turns in the story. I was not prepared for it. It seems very sort of straightforward when you first begin watching, and then it just goes in so many different directions from that point forward. So I found it really fascinating and just really captivating. Let's talk about this cast because I was not aware of all the players you had in this movie. I mean, we'll talk about Clive here in a minute, Clive Standen, who did a great job, but Jesse Metcalf, Lachlan Monroe, Stephen Dorff, who I absolutely adore anything he's in. Alec Baldwin and Tom Welling, who I actually had a conversation with a few weeks ago at a panel. But what was the atmosphere or the environment like on set? You had all these fantastic individuals, so talented across the board. Tell us about that experience directing all of them.
They're all amazing guys. I mean, and I've known a lot of them for a long time, and so it was great to put them all on a set, and the energy was strong. It was like each one was really putting it all out there. There was no holding back. And Clive really spearheaded that because Clive's commitment level is just so high. I mean, the guy just phenomenal, and so. Yeah, so it was great to have everybody on board and just not and as a director to know that I'm in, that I've got a cast I can count on. If I'm going to ask whatever I'm going to ask them to do, these guys are going to do it 110%.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about Clive a little bit. You had put out a statement beforehand saying that he gives 110%. Talk about a scene or talk about something on set that really informs us about that commitment he makes to this role in this movie.
I mean, Clive's one of the most committed dudes I know, there's the scene where he's running across the river, when we first and initially that wasn't scripted. It was like, first of all, it's a river. And so we were like, it's not the safest thing on the planet. And he came to me and he's like, I really want to run across that. And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, are you sure? He's like, "Yeah, I really want to run across that." And so, of course, I went to everybody and we had to get all the safety in place and, spotters and everything. Um, and, uh, and I was like, and so we shot him and he did it for real. He did it on his own and he runs across and the first take he runs across it. And he just barrels across. He falls down, he hits some rocks. I'm thinking, oh man, he just busted a kneecap. We're done. And he gets up, he spits, he keeps running and comes over to me. He's like, "Let's do it again," and that's Clive. And he's just, the guy's nonstop and just totally underrated. He had an opportunity to be James Bond, which I think he should be. I mean, the guy's got the soul and the spirit for it. So.
I love hearing that. I spoke a little bit about Steven Dorff earlier. I feel like, ever since he started coming back and doing some of these major projects, we just forget how talented he is as an individual. I feel like he's one of those actors that, is kind of very intense with his craft. He's very professional. He probably wants to elevate scenes as you're filming or have ideas. Talk to us about maybe what it's like collaborating on set with Steven.
Yeah, no, Steven's super intense. I mean, the guy always brings it 110%, you know, he's he's an actor. Sometimes you get actors who have a lot of ideas and not very many good ones. And then you have actors that, you know, have who you know, sparingly give their ideas, but they're all great. And he's one of those sparingly guys. You know, he shows up. He doesn't. He's not big on like changing dialogue and trying. You know, he's if he didn't like it, he wouldn't be there. And
Mm.
so he's there because he likes it, and because he likes what he's saying, and because he likes working with me and the other people there. And so we have a great working relationship. And he's actually the star of the Gunslinger, which is next year with Nick Cage and Stephen Dorff,
Oh
that
my
we just
God.
shot. Yeah. So he's the star of one of my next films. And so and it's phenomenal. I mean, the guy's dedication level is just phenomenal. So
It's great you kind of mentioned that because Nick is actually the guy that I was kind of thinking about because I had a short conversation with him a few months ago, and he's the same. He's very intense, but he wants to get the shots and the scenes as genuine as possible. And it's just, he's that kind of professional. Lastly, I will ask you, you're not on a set, you're filming in the elements up in Canada. Talk to us about some of the challenges you faced filming an action thriller like Clear Cut, outdoor in the elements. What are some of the things, the obstacles or challenges you faced?
You know, it was actually a beautiful time of year. We actually hit it just right. You know, it was about a year ago, actually. I think it was almost exactly a year ago we shot it, and it was beautiful up there. I mean, there wasn't, you know, it wasn't like you know, I shot Gunslinger with Cage and Dorff in, you know, what was it, the spring in Kentucky, and we were getting ran out because of tornadoes and storms and thunder and lightning, and we weren't in the elements at all. You know, we were in a old west town right next to a city. You know, I mean, and then I go to the forest and it's beautiful. You know, no weather. You know, I think the worst thing there was bugs. You know, it was some mosquitoes. You know, that was about it. It was actually a really great shoot. You know, you get hot, you go jump in the river. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I really love that shoot. So.
That's always good. Well, I will give you one last opportunity to sell this movie to the audience. Why should they check out Clear Cut when it drops?
You know, it's a great popcorns, you know, Saturday night thriller. You know, so pop the popcorn and check it out July 19, and just enjoy the film. I mean, it's a great thriller. It's just a lot of fun, you know, and it's a great cast. A lot of familiar faces that everybody will be like, oh yeah, I love him, I love him, I love her, you know, Lucy Martin. I mean, it's just like so. Have a good time with it.
Absolutely. Clear Cut is coming soon, July 19th to select theaters and video on demand. Check it out. Brian, thanks so much for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.